they see everybody around them padding their wallets, but they don't get an opportunity to do so as well. The unfairness of it all resonates with the student athlete as much as anything else.
Man, day in the life of an athlete. I remember having to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, having to be in our meeting room by 5:15 a.m. and being on the field by 5:25. And then that's our morning workout. We went from 2 days. So we have our morning workouts, and then you have your weight room workout if you don't have any classes. Our class schedules run from 8 o'clock a.m. all the way up until about 1 o'clock. And at 2 o'clock, we start our special teams meetings. So from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we're in meetings. From 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we're at practice. From 6 o'clock to maybe 8, we got a team dinner. And then from 8 to 10, I got study hall. So it's always some early morning, late nights for me. Averaging about maybe 5-6 hours of sleep.
Day in life at Arizona was not your normal student. Depending on what time your workout was, could be 6:30 all the way to probably 10 at night, involving workouts. You got study hall, then of course you have your classes, watching film, practice, watching more film. Your day is over probably like around 10-ish, you're tired. And then again, you might have a test the next day or something due, so you have to stay up late and do that. Just made it hard.
Not only do you have to worry about the capacity to learn about the game week in, week out, but you gotta worry about how you're gonna fit in your study hall hours. You gotta worry about how you're gonna have the time to study for your tests, but also worry about game prep week. You gotta worry about how you're gonna finish this class, but also get to practice on time. So there's a lot of factors that come into it. Regular students don't have the life that a student athlete does.
Well, I've been doing this job for almost 25 years at KXAN in the business since 1985. Obviously, college sports is a big part of this market. I've been around it, not just here, but my entire career, pretty heavily involved. The players, the athletes, they are a huge part of a huge revenue stream. They play for coaches that make incredible amounts of money.
Our head coach gets paid, at that time when I was in school, was getting paid $2.5 million. And all the assistants, at least $125,000 to $750,000.
I think at most major universities, they are treated pretty well, above and beyond of the average student, what they have access to. They get an experience that's a little different than a normal college student, that they get to travel, they get exposed to things, but their time is also almost solely on their sport during their season. So they don't have time to have another job. They have very little time for a social life.
You put in so many hours, you dedicate yourself to your craft, that I feel like the injuries that come with it, why not get paid for it? If you put your life on the line, yes, it's a sport that you love, but also it's a sport that America loves to see.
There's so much money in this sport and so many people are benefiting, and while I definitely think the players benefit, I think there's a misconception about how they're treated, but then why not take it to the next level if it's equitable and if it makes it better for student athletes. I don't know the perfect setup for it, but I think it's just the evolution of college sports, and too many people are speaking up and banging the drum now, and people are reacting.
So it's a slippery slope and the athletes won't be as exploited anymore, as though boosters aren't already incentivizing people to do it, but behind closed doors? I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. Why can't they make profit off their likeness?
Well, then it just becomes the NFL. Now it's just who has the most money, who's going to pay them the most. And I think you take a lot of the authenticity and the realness in college football away.
I think that ship has sailed. You can call it amateur athletics. They call the Olympics amateur athletics, and obviously those athletes are being paid, or they used to, in different ways.
I think the only big cons would be It could be greediness coming out of it from not only the player, but from the agent that's trying to get them. Now, instead of waiting till college, you're going to catch the kids when they're a young age. And, you know, parents, especially if you're a parent who don't have money, as the first sign of good money, you have a parent who don't have knowledge, who's going to jump on that situation. So now you're putting that kid's future in jeopardy.
The biggest crime in sports is that college football players especially have to risk their pro careers for 3 years minimum and get paid nothing but their scholarship.
I missed 2 years. I tore my ACL and I dislocated my hip. Yeah, after that last injury, that was kind of my football career. I felt like I could play, knowing my body, but the doctor said it was best not to, and it was time to stop playing. Basically, they're kind of using you, because once your day is done, that's it. Once you get injured, that's it.
Easy to speak on outside situations if you never walked or been in the shoes of an athlete. So everybody has their opinion, but strongly consider the opinions of the athletes who've been through it, the injuries, or the injuries that ended their career. Now I got to figure out how I'm gonna have an alternate, what my alternate career is, you know. Going through those dark spots where, all right, I've been an athlete all my life, and now you don't have nothing else. Let them be the best athletes that they can and put themselves in a position to where they can brand and market themselves and have a side business and become an entrepreneur for themselves.
If you just look at it and say, boom, you can make money off your name, image, and likeness. You can be paid by local businesses for commercials, for appearances. On the surface, that sounds dangerous to me. And by dangerous, I mean it could strictly turn into a recruiting tool.
The NCAA.
The NCAA.
The NCAA. The NCAA's top policy-making group today voted unanimously to permit students participating in athletics the opportunity to benefit from the use of their name, image, and likeness in a manner consistent with the collegiate model.
I think the NCAA has to react, and so they set some kind of vague terms about it, and now I think they're scrambling to figure out, all right, how's it going to work? It sounds great that, and I think we think of it in terms of the most high-profile athletes at schools. Well, part of this, I think, is to make it equitable for what we call Olympic sports, non-revenue sports, however you want to call it. They can also benefit. And again, it's not about the school paying them. It's not about the NCAA. It's about them being able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness. Now, how they're going to do that? Are they going to cap it? Is it going to be in some sort of fund when they graduate or their eligibility runs out? Who's going to regulate it? What are the tax ramifications? So I think there's a lot of unanswered questions.
The people who argue against paying players are not doing it at all from a logical basis. The only argument they make is, well, they get enough, right? It's not about how much they should get, it is they get enough, as though they shouldn't dare have the audacity to want some money that fold.
You gotta be in a situation to understand the situation. So if you come from a background where you never had to basically survive and have a survival mode mindset, you never understand what it takes to go without a meal. Or you're never gonna understand what it takes to having to worry about how your people back home are gonna eat. You got kids come from low economic statuses who don't have the ends to support their mom. So, you know, that's why you have so much poverty going on now, because you don't have any resources in the local neighborhood. So why not get a kid who has had the opportunity to play sports and go to college and allow him to provide for his family?
Nowhere else in America do we forbid adults from seeking a portion of the highly valued services that they provide. And nowhere else would we think of saying, don't pay these people until I'm satisfied that it won't mess something up.
They're out there being a big part of the revenue stream. The least you can do is let the process play out, see what it looks like, and just remember that everything evolves.